Hi, I'm Irving. You have just entered Cartertopia. We begin today by zooming in on a woman sitting in a car. She just stuck her finger in a light socket, and now she's trying to remember the number for 911. My mistake. She's DC's version of the Wasp. I told you to stay away from light sockets. The ants go into an eating frenzy until... Well, that was exciting. I'll see you next time on Cartertopia. Oh wait, it's not done yet. Formicida? If that's a spray that kills government paperwork, I'll buy some. That's the third building that's collapsed in a week, and the one common thread among them is whose corporation owns them.
Gideon Harcourt. They invented the phrase industrial giant just to describe him, I hear. You think it's sabotage?
We really don't have any evidence to that effect. But considering the fact that quite a few buildings in this town are traced back to his corporation.
Well, we'd better find out.
I'm not sure how far forensics had progressed in the area of destruction by insect consumption, so investigators are probably going to come up with something vague like wood fatigue or dry rot. I doubt they'll settle on ravenous ants. At his office, Mr. Harcourt has a phone call.
Now, I don't know how you're doing this or why, but I do know you have a price. What is it?
Hard as it may be for your materialistic little mind to grasp, Mr. Harcourt, I don't want money. I want you to shut down the Eastern Chemical Plant.
Of course, he scoffs at it. After all, he's rich. He doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to. Isn't that how it works?
You will shut down your operations at the plant immediately. Cancel any and all shipments you plan to make of the EF11 pesticide and destroy the EF11 formula, or I will destroy you.
She has specific reasons for shutting down that particular plant, and they have to do with that particular pesticide. It's clear she knows a lot about it, so maybe he should listen.
Now, you listen to me. I didn't build an empire heeding threats from people like you, whoever you are.
Well then, prepare to see that empire crumble, Mr. Harcourt. My name, by the way, is Formicida.
And now I know how to pronounce it. He should listen, but he really thinks being rich shields him from anything and everything. He hasn't figured out yet that a few more events like this and she'll make him unrich. And if she happens to drop the building he's in, she could do more than that. But it's easy to see the testosterone has kicked in too, so he's acting like Mr. Rough, Tough, Big Man, don't take nothing from nobody. That is never a good thing. Cut to a guy running down a sidewalk. He scrambles into a phone booth and makes a call.
Diana Prince.
Diana, this is Dr. Douglas Radcliffe. We met last year at the Western Securities and Science Conference.
Oh, right, the chemist.
Listen, I'm being followed. I know who's responsible for those buildings caving in. I can't talk now. Just meet me outside the old warehouse on Jefferson, 55th at 6:30. No one will be around then. I'll tell you everything, but please, Diana, just be there.
That one little ant on his coat is going to tell Formicida what he's up to, and it appears it can do it telepathically. There are some mysteries surrounding how creatures like ants communicate, so we can let that pass. Formicida had a couple of goons following Dr. Radcliffe, and now they'll know where to go to catch up with him. And by the way, why is it always a warehouse somewhere? The safest thing he could do is go straight to IADC headquarters and stay there. But it's always, meet me at this really creepy warehouse where bad things are 112% likely to happen. Nobody will bother us there. And somebody always does. Next time, instead of a warehouse, try a restaurant. Doug is considerably more agile than he looks, and he's leading them a merry chase all over that warehouse, over crates and underboxes and every which way.
check back in there.
That bought him enough time for Diana to arrive.
Okay, boys, the fun's over.
Formicida appears and says, "Not so fast."
Dr. Radcliffe and I have an appointment.
Much like Wonder Woman, she's a lot stronger than she looks. While she and Wonder Woman wrestle, Doug is trying to get away from the goons. Formicida traps Wonder Woman under a mattress. Oh, you don't believe me? Here you go. That'll teach you to question. Doug is upstairs and the goons are downstairs. All he has to do is get through the door. And he would have made it if not for that lousy gravity. I'll probably fall asleep tonight wondering why it took Wonder Woman almost half a minute to get out from under that mattress, but by the time she does, they've taken Dr. Radcliffe and escaped. There's nothing she can do.
Hello, Doug. How's your head?
The least you could do is tell that goon squad of yours to take it easy on me. Especially that witch. What rock did you find her under?
You can't be serious. She doesn't look that different, Doug. She is that witch, however she accomplished it. Stick her finger in a light socket and you'll see the resemblance.
You should never have sold my pesticide to GDH Enterprise.
Our pesticide, Irene. I worked on it too, you know.
It was wrong.
I needed the money. I offered you half. You wouldn't take that or any of the credit either.
How many stupid, stupid things have people done in the name of "I needed the money"? Think about that stuff. What is it? It's paper. It has value because why? Because we all agree that it does. Well, what gives it value? The fact that I can exchange it for something I need or want. It's worthless unless you're giving it away to get something that actually has useful value to you. The trouble is, to guys like Harcourt, it becomes an end in itself, a way to keep score. So they hoard it, protect it in offshore accounts, grub another 1,000% of profit by cutting someone's livelihood. To them, it truly is the almighty dollar. Instead of putting it to its intended use, they use it as a status symbol. I find that a pathetic way to live. And I don't use this word often, but there's always a legitimate way to get more. Out of money isn't the end of the world. There's a way to scrape enough together to live. The thing is, you have to figure out what it is, and that may require help. Don't be too proud to accept it.
You know, most people do what they have to do and then get on with it. You never learned how to do that, have you, Irene?
Lives are at stake, Doug.
There's something seriously wrong with their pesticide, at least she thinks so. He's going to try another tack.
I believe that. I've always been a decent person. And I'm really sorry that I was putting down what you're trying to do. If you'd let me, I really would like to help you.
I don't believe it.
An hour ago, he was heading to the IADC to turn her in. Suddenly, he believes in what she's doing and wants in. He may be overestimating his own charm.
We've worked together once. We can work together again. Let's clear this whole thing up together. Okay?
Oh, cut it out!
Oh, come on.
Just stop it! Collie!
Oh, come on.
Take
This
him
is
downstairs!
ridiculous.
Dude, if you had kept your distance, you might have been able to persuade her, but you had to go for the romance angle. As I said, you overestimate your own charm, and now it's gotten you taken downstairs.
6 months ago, GDH Enterprises purchased a formula from Dr. Douglas Radcliffe.
A pesticide?
10 to 1, he's talking about the pesticide Harcourt's going to start marketing tomorrow. It's called EF11.
Diana explains about Doug's kidnapping and the only clue she found at the scene.
Ants?
They literally chewed their way through solid flooring and in an isolated area, like they were being controlled or something.
Ira analyzes the ants and gives a report.
Phylum Arthropoda, Class, Insecta. Order, Hymenoptera. Family, Formicida.
Okay, in plain English, please.
Specimens are carpenter ants, well known for their ability to tunnel through wood.
And their family name is Formicidae, hence our villain's name. And since paper is made out of wood, they could be used to wipe out government paperwork. They really could be a formicide. Diana asks Ira to cross-reference anybody associated with Doug and or GDH Enterprises with study of ants. It's way late, so she'll get that report in the morning. As she and Steve leave, Rover comes in for the night.
A roving computer module such as yourself could be of special value in this investigation. Are you ready for programming?
Is he going to program Rover to look for ants now? I listened to this every way I could. Slowed down, scrubbed, reversed. I concluded it's gibberish that just sometimes sounds like a word here and there. Well, that took long. Oops, he's not done. Formicida calls Harcourt in the middle of the night and warns him that she's going to be hitting closer to home. He blows her off.
The extra security guards arrived a half hour ago and have been briefed, as have the staff. Should she appear, we'll have her, Mr. Harcourt.
Yeah, he blew her off all right. He's scared down to his toenails.
Good.
And the Easton plant called. They're sending over some classified material.
That's fine. That's fine.
Moments later, a familiar-looking man delivers the package.
Oh, yes, he's expecting this. You may go right up.
Too bad Diana didn't get a good look at him, but she's got her own problems.
I'd like to see Mr. Harcourt, please.
Mr. Harcourt has no appointments for this morning.
Oh, well, see, he's not really expecting me at a certain time. I called, but
You've called?
Tell them who you are. Show your ID.
I told him I'd be here. You see, I'm sure that Mr. Harcourt will want to talk to me when he finds out who I am.
Tell them who you are. Quick!
Guards? Hey, stop her!
Obviously, they think she's Formicida. She has no way to know that since Harcourt hasn't told the IADC anything, and she really needs to get that ID out. While they capture Diana, the package is delivered to Harcourt's desk. Diana can't seem to manage to say her name, while Harcourt is giving her a lecture about what a great humanitarian he is.
Now with the world on the edge of starvation, you would deprive it of the one pesticide that would ensure continued food supply. Well, What's that?
It's coming from your office.
Those little guys eat a lot, and judging by how many there are versus how many were in that package, they multiply like tribbles. The ultimate insult. Okay, maybe the chandelier was the penultimate insult.
My Louis XIV table. My 19th century walnut desk.
My pointless decadence! How will I prove I'm better than everyone else without my pointless decadence?
What in the world?
Ants. Ants, Mr. Harcourt.
At IADC headquarters, Cawley just took the place of a security guard in the parking garage. Rather than deal with one agent, she goes after the whole building. This woman has issues.
They're in.
And so are we. She
She is way, way, way too good at that face. It's beyond creepy. For now, they're there to listen and find out what the IADC is up to. What she hears is Diana and Steve brainstorming about how the ants behaved when she saw them in action. Rover comes in with the information Diana requested the night before.
Dr. Irene Janis worked closely with Radcliffe in developing the EF11 formula. She's an entomologist with an intense interest in ants. Look familiar?
No, this is not the woman I saw when Doug was kidnapped.
Frizz her hair, take off the glasses, and put a little more makeup on her, Diana. You disguise your dual identity pretty much the same way, so that should occur to you. Look at the facial features, not the superficial trappings.
What's wrong with him? Steve! Steve, take a look at his ants. You don't suppose that...
Well, I've heard of places being bugged before, but this is ridiculous.
Lyle Wagoner has been waiting all week to do that joke. Diana asks, how did Rover know they were there and why did he respond like that?
Our ever-faithful computer, Ira. Ira told me this morning that he programmed the rover to respond to and even generate electronic patterns emitted by ants.
You mean that he can communicate with them?
In crude fashion, yes.
Rover's going to save the day, isn't he? Diana says, then he and I are going to take a little trip to see Irene. She doesn't realize the ants heard her and are telling Formicida about it right now. In Harcourt's office, a scientist is explaining to him that EF11 has the potential to be 100 times more toxic than DDT, especially in certain situations.
No, but you see, when it combines with water and specific pollutants, it becomes toxic, not just to insects, but to wildlife and eventually to humans. The tests prove it.
Then redo the tests.
So what if it kills a few thousand people? I need the money to restore my trappings of power. Look what she did to my stuff! Whatever it is, it's going to make Rover take off without Diana. She spots Collie trimming some bushes. I hope she recognizes one of the guys who kidnapped Doug.
Rover, can you tell me? Rover!
I don't think she's going to find him anytime soon. She heads on in to meet Dr. Janis. She says, I know you kidnapped Dr. Radcliffe, I know he's here, and I know you're the one who's been making trouble for Harcourt.
I'm afraid you're going to regret your involvements in all this, Diana.
The IADC is involved, not just me. And they know I'm here.
We Crusaders are a dangerous lot.
Aldo.
Right here.
Then again, pesticide makers who ignore test results are also a dangerous lot. That's why she's doing this, even if she is going about everything the wrong way. Downstairs in her lab, she's explaining how she does this.
A hormonal formula I developed for my ant friends themselves.
She sits down and drinks it. Her formula starts by dimming the lights. That expression says, what in the f*** did I just do to myself? We skipped over the part where she stuck her finger in a light socket. She says the formula makes her a lot like the ants, organized, social, and strong. Diana says, why don't you put this to good use? Irene says, I am. Explain, Doug.
The EF11 pesticide formula I sold too soon.
What he sold Harcourt was an incomplete formula. Incomplete because in its present form, EF11, when saturated with ordinary water and exposed to airborne sulfates, becomes a deadly poison.
Within 4 years, it will poison everything in the countries that use it. Diana says Harcourt is going to start marketing it today. Untie me and let me help you stop him.
I found out the surest way to see that something doesn't get done is to trust it to government bureaucrats.
Okay, I have to give her that one. She gives Collie and Aldo each a cylinder full of ants and they leave. Then she opens 2 more cylinders on the floor, makes her creepy face, and she leaves.
They're flesh eaters.
Doug, I want you to untie my hands, and I will get us both out of this.
There's no way. I can't reach you.
Doug can't answer right now. Please leave a message after the panic attack. Formicida and crew head for the Easton plant. We saw Harcourt himself arrive there earlier, and he left orders that nobody is to enter the grounds, and that means nobody. Doug snaps out of it, and he and Diana are trying to get their chairs back to back so he can untie her. It's not going well.
Move the chair over.
Well, that's not going to help for very long.
Come on, just do it.
Rover? Rover, the ants. Tell them to stop, can you?
I told you Rover would save the day. They get untied and Diana says, call Steve Trevor and tell him to have that plant evacuated. That has to be where she's heading, and she had her ants with her. That means she plans to destroy the place. I don't think she's thought about what happens when all those volatile chemicals start spilling out over and into each other. The result could be worse than what she's trying to prevent.
Mr. Harcourt, the plant manager just got a call, sir, from the IADC ordering us to evacuate the plant.
Probably just another crank call.
No, sir. He said that Steve Trevor told him...
It was just another crank call.
Yes, sir.
This isn't even about money anymore. His ego can't take the idea of being defeated, especially by a woman. He doesn't care if everybody in the plant is killed as long as he gets his poison pumped into those tanks on the loading dock so he can start sending it all over the world. You can't defeat me! I am a man!
All set.
Good. The few hundred ants that you placed inside will muster a force of 10 million.
So that's how they multiply so fast. They call the neighbors.
So why do you have to go in? Can't you signal the ants from out here?
Destroying the building isn't enough. I've got to neutralize the pesticides that he's already manufactured. If it spills, it will poison everything within 10 miles.
All right, so she did think about all those chemicals and stuff. While Formicida is making her way through the place to where she can neutralize the EF-11, Wonder Woman and Rover are coming in from a different way, looking for ants that are behaving weird.
Empty.
Empty.
Rover, do you think you can find those ants and tell them to stop like you did at the house? All right. You're sure?
She opens a vent and Rover heads in.
Hey, you!
Yes, Wonder Woman is your terrorist, boys. Arrest her. Harcourt's security brain trust, folks. No wonder Formicida got in so easily.
Hey! Nobody's supposed to be in here!
The whole place is supposed to be on the alert for a dangerous woman. He spots a woman who doesn't belong there. And that's his reaction? Not one of them thought to hit an alarm, so most of the plant still doesn't know she's there. She should thank those guys. Where she found the control panel, Wonder Woman has found Harcourt.
Are you going to tell me that you have not received orders to evacuate this building?
I will not be harassed into abandoning my endeavors by you, the IADC, or anyone else.
My privy member is bigger than yours, and that's that!
Harassed? This whole building is about to come down, Mr. Harcourt. Now stop your operations and evacuate.
That sound.
That's the sound of my stuff being destroyed! Not again! She's violating my stuff! Harcourt finally relents and sounds the alarm. Rover is wandering through the air ducts looking for ants to talk to. Formicida almost has the chemical neutralized. She just has to turn one more valve. And her formula is wearing off. And she didn't bring any more with her. Within seconds, Irene Janice doesn't have the strength to open that last valve.
Come on, you gotta get out of here. No! The pesticide has to be neutralized. Help me, please! Help me!
Wonder Woman takes over and they get something up to 2,000, which neutralizes the EF-11. Unfortunately, there won't be time to get out of there before the building collapses.
What happened?
Rover saved the day. That's what happened. Who could have seen that coming? Outside, Doug says, I'm responsible for this. You became that creature because of what I did. Irene says, no, I'll face up to everything I did and take my punishment. But she asks Wonder Woman, when it's all over, would you help me start over?
Well, this can make you forget how you created Formicida, if that's what you want.
It certainly is.
Wonder Woman took the lasso off. Irene turned to Doug and said, good to see you again, George. Steve says, why is this place still standing? Wonder Woman says, I'll show you.
He talked the ants out of it?
Well, Diane always said he has a way with words.
Rover saves the day again, twice in one episode. Unfortunately, that little bit of fame went to his head. He started demanding more money, a better dressing room, a chauffeur, and eventually they replaced him with a pocket calculator overdubbed by Leonard Nimoy. I'm Irving, and you are now exiting Cartertopia.